Hi, this video will cover the lesson I was going to cover in today's class, and the goal is to show you how you can use a generative AI tool like ChatGPT to help you create and format a final draft of a resume. This lesson also will show you how to manipulate a large amount of information in a relatively easy and quick way when using generative AI tools. So think of this lesson as having two parts. One, a general overview of how to import material into ChatGPT or your other AI tool, and two, how to use ChatGPT to take a large amount of raw material and create a formatted resume draft. So here we go, getting material into ChatGPT. So here I am. I'm looking for a new job. I decided I wanted a brand new resume, and in order to get started, I did a massive information dump on a document. What I did was I took all the possible details I could possibly think of to apply for this hypothetical position as Director of Marketing. I wrote everything that came to mind, whether it was relevant or not. I tried to include as many details as possible because it's always easier to shorten the amount of content that I might use in a final document rather than to expand. So there are two different ways where I can get this raw material into a tool like ChatGPT. The first thing I can do is copy everything. I can go Control-A or highlight everything and copy. I select everything, I copy it, I go to ChatGPT, and I can paste it in the window. That works well for a limited amount of material, say 4 or 5 pages of information. You can go longer, but then it gets really hard to manipulate and to see. So copying and pasting is probably the easiest way of getting material into a tool like ChatGPT, but you can also attach a file which works well if it is fairly extensive in terms of content. So I'm going to back out of this. I'm going to go Control-Z to get rid of the copied material. I took all of the information in this document. I downloaded this document as a Word doc. And what I can do is upload it into ChatGPT by clicking on the paperclip attach file icon. Clicking on that, I'm going to upload from my computer. I'm going to take my resume data as a Word document. It uploads it, and there it is. I can still type in my prompt, and the prompt will refer to the document that I attached. So, two different ways of getting material into ChatGPT. I can copy and paste material into it, or I can attach a file into it. I'll just do that again really quickly. I can do it as a PDF, and so on. When I get rid of it, we're starting new. So, you know how to get material into ChatGPT. So what you could do when you're working on your resume is, again, do something with this hypothetical writer is attempting to achieve. They took all the possible details that may be relevant to the job, put it in a single document, and that's going to be the raw material for the resume. What I'm going to do is to create a prompt that asks specifically what I want ChatGPT to do. Remember, the more detailed your prompt is, the more accurate the results will be. I'm just going to copy and paste the prompt I've written offline. I am applying for the position of Director of Marketing. That tells ChatGPT the type of job I'm looking for. The next line reads, here are all of the details that I can think of that might be relevant. I'm telling ChatGPT that I'm going to give it a lot of data. And then I'm going to give ChatGPT instructions. I would like for you to take this material and format it as a chronological resume. Make sure that this resume is no longer than 2 pages long in length. Make sure that you present the final resume draft in text-only format. What that basically means is it's just going to give me something I can copy off the screen. So that's step one. I have a very detailed prompt. If you use something like make a resume for me, your results are going to be kind of scattered. By being more precise, you're going to get much more accurate and useful information. So the prompt is here. The next step is to get all that raw material into the same window so ChatGPT has a data with which it's going to work. I can just copy and paste it, or I can attach a file. I'm going to do the copy and paste method right now. I'm going to show you a little formatting trick that makes it easier for me to visually separate my prompt from my material. So while in this window, I'm going to hold the Shift key down. I'm going to hit Enter, Shift Enter, and that just gives me some empty space. It helps me, again, to visually separate what I'm asking from the data that I'm using. Go back to my data document, Control A to select everything, copy, Control C, I go here, Control V, and there I go. I have my prompt here and all the data down there, and then the final step will be click the action item button, the arrow. I click on that, scroll down a little so you can see, and here we go. And we'll just wait as it comes up with a chronological resume. Here we are. It gave a professional summary. Remember, we talked a little bit about the difference between summaries and objective statements. Professional experience, their work. They've been working for a fair amount of time, so education comes second. Now comes education. Certification and skills, awards, and so on. We'll just let it continue. This might be a little long. We're going to see. References available upon request. So here's my formatted resume. It took all the mess from this document and created this document. I'm going to highlight all this. I'm going to do a copy and paste. Control C. I'm going to go here and I'm going to create a new document. And I'm going to paste it. There I am. And the problem is it's 3 pages long. You can kind of see it over here. Again, I specified 2 pages. Sometimes you got to come up with additional refinement prompts in order for ChatGPT to deliver exactly what you want. So what I'm going to do is my follow-up. Thank you. I'm not just being polite. What I'm doing is signifying to ChatGPT that it's on the right track, and it's going to, a response like this helps it learn what my preferences are. This resume is 3 pages long. Could you make it more concise? And then let's see what it comes up with. Here we go. And we'll just patiently watch it develop. There we go. I think it looks shorter, but we'll see in a moment. Definitely is shorter. What I'm going to do is find the top of it. There we go. Here's the new version. I'm going to highlight, copy, Control C. Let's go here and we'll do yet another document just to see how long it is. Here we go. Control V. 2 pages long. A really simple layout. I'd plug in more specific information. We talked about the header information. Probably make my name a little bit bigger, like that. But what you have here is a very strong, consistent, well-formatted resume. And it's done just through clicking a few times through ChatGPT. Now, this is an example of a chronological resume, which it lists everything in a reverse time order. Most recent job first, second most recent, third, and so on. You do the same thing with education. No big deal. You can also create what's known as a functional resume. And we're going to talk about that in class. And functional resumes are good for people who are changing jobs, or someone, a candidate who has a ton of experience and is going to highlight different skills and capabilities, and then kind of put the jobs toward the end. We'll do that just so you can see how quickly you can change the format of a resume with ChatGPT. So I'll say, this is great. Now, I'd like for you to reformat this resume so that it is a functional resume. And we'll cover this in class, but you'll see visually what I mean by that. There we go. And notice you start with a professional summary, but rather than going through specific jobs, they're going to start talking about core competencies. And then technical skills. It's actually doing a really great job. Certifications. And now they're starting to go to jobs, but notice how the jobs are just quickly listed. Education listed. And awards and professional development. Let's scroll to the top. Here we go. That. I'm going to copy that over. Here's the 2-page resume. That's pretty good. Let's do one more. File. New file, new document. I'm going to paste it. And again, 2 pages long, and it looks really, really good. Let's kill off these 2 guys. Okay, so here is my, see, my chronological resume. Here is my functional resume. Two professional resumes that could be tweaked a little bit. I might expand a little more on education and things like that. I'll double check, make sure that it's accurate, but it's solid. Could do the same thing here. 2 solid resumes that grew out of a long data page and using ChatGPT. I think you might end up having to watch this a couple times to figure out completely what I'm talking about, but overall, you should have a general sense of how you can use this tool to make the creation of documents a lot more efficient and a lot more effective. We'll definitely talk next week. I hope you have a good weekend.